Questlove Show is a production of iHeartRadio. Okay, so I'm just slowly realizing that I've not done my elaborate intros. I was so busy in preparing the interviews. But this is the Questlove Show, QLS, in case you're late arriving to us. What can I say, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Ernie and Bert of funk, the Shields and Yarnell of soul, the Peaches and Herb of the get down, the Sherlock Holmes and Watson of Bow Chicka Wow Wow. This is the Lennon McCartney of Jam and Lewis. I can't believe this moment is happening, but it is happening. 40 top 10 hits, 16 of them number one. Producer of the Year accolades, anything that we can award them, they've accomplished. Members of one of the last best funk bands that matter pre-hip hop. I have to make that distinction. Mm-hmm. And it's telling that the last album that you two participated in literally is the blueprint of hip hop. I mean, there's ghostwriting, there's digital programming and technology, there's extended jams, there's edit mistakes, there's dirty mixing, there's Pimps and Gigolo and Ho Talk, there's Hide Your Daughter, Hide Your Daughters, they're here, designer of fashion, diss tracks, comedy skits, thoughts on the police, songs about new dances, affirmational songs about wanting to live the good life. Like, it's literally, what time is it? It to me is the blueprint of hip hop. And here we are in 2026. I can't believe I said that. 2026. Taping this in the month that will mark the 40th anniversary of their landmark production of an album called Control. Thought it'd be rather apropos as they're celebrating the beginning or promoting their Nothing But Hits residency in Las Vegas with Ruben Studdard and Shanice Wilson. And I cannot believe this is happening. Jimmy Jam, Jerry Lewis, thank you for doing the Questlove shows. Thank you for being here after that long intro that I just had to wing off the top of my head.
Believe it.
That was a great intro. I like that.
Yeah, it was really good.
What are we, the Ernie and Bert of?
The Ernie and Bert of funk.
Wow, I like that. That's a new moniker.
We could have been Big Bird or something.
I know, exactly.
Nah, man.
Cookie Monster.
Yeah, that would have been good.
That would have been a good one. Yeah, that's right.
All right, so when did the conversation start of wanting to do a residency?
Well, I'll tell you, for me, the conversation started a long time ago when the Time performed on the Grammys with Rihanna.
Got it.
That was the 50th anniversary of the Grammys, so 18 years ago, I guess?
Yes.
And I was the chairman of the Recording Academy at that point. And I remember after we performed with Rihanna, everybody backstage said, "What are you guys going to do next?" And we were like, "Next? No, this is just a one-off. We just got together." Mm-hmm. But there was a guy in Vegas that saw us, and Toni Braxton was doing shows at the Flamingo. Mm-hmm. And she was having some health problems. So they wanted to get somebody in there to, take some of the dates. And so we ended up, as the Time, going in and doing 3 weeks of residency there. And we loved it. We We totally got why, Celine Dion was parked there. And, I think Donnie and Marie were coming in after us, So we totally... And Donnie would come to our shows. Like, he loved the Time.
Okay.
So anyway... I will say the seed got planted there just in that we liked the idea of doing it.
Got it. I'm laughing also because you brought that up, and first time a rental car of mine ever got towed, I parked in Donnie's spot at that residency. Anyway, so go ahead.
No, I love that. So to fast forward, when we went in the Songwriters Hall of Fame, that we were asked, what do we want to do? What do you want to do that you haven't done yet? And Babyface happened to be on the red carpet right next to us, and we said, well, we'd like to do a record with Babyface. Mm-hmm. So we did that. We checked that one off the list. Yes. Right. We said we would like to finish the album that we started, 30 years ago or whenever it was,
right.
The Jam and Lewis Volume 1 album, which we did. So we checked that off. The third thing we said was we'd like to go and perform our catalog, which we've never done, and we would like to do that. And so, 7 or 8 years after that, we now have the opportunity to do it. And for us, it's a return to the roots, no pun intended, of where we started as musicians. Before we were songwriters and before we were producers, we were simply guys in a local band playing everybody else's hits. So now we get to be guys in a local band playing our own hits.
Got it.
And that's the fun of it.
So is there I know it's one step at a time, but you guys also have a catalog that is jukebox Broadway worthy. Have you planned talking segments on like, well, we did this song in 1985 and da-da-da-da-da, what?
Well, we certainly do that, you know.
Okay.
Jimmy Jam is one of the greatest orators in
You too, Terry Lewis, by the way.
history. You know, I talk.
No, you talk great. Actually,
no.
You know, he does. And
my
he
favorite
knows.
part of doing
Yes.
Press for the Slime Stone, which I have to thank you both for doing, when people realize that you two were 3,000 miles apart, and literally there were points where we could sync up your answers, and it was like, you're the Run DMC of documentary interviews also.
Okay.
No, but you're always Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Yeah. Well, you know, the experiences are the experiences. I mean, there's 3 sides to every story. His side, my side, and the truth.
Right.
Like, and somewhere we park it in the middle somewhere.
Gotcha.
And we figure it out.
Well, I
But-
think the thing with Terry is that Terry, I always say that what it takes me a paragraph to say, Terry
Right.
can say in a sentence. And that's what makes him such a great lyricist, his efficiency of words, because I tend to be long-winded. But the other part about that is if something's important to Terry, he will talk. When
Got
we
it.
went in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Terry talked. That was the most I heard him talk. But his mom was out there. His family was out there.
Right.
And that was a really meaningful moment. And the fact that he's here with you now, Questlove, doing this show.
Can't believe it.
Believe it.
Yeah. It's things that are important to Terry.
Gotcha.
He has a great filter for that. And doing your show today is very important. So that's why.
Yeah, a part of my filter is I have no filter. You know, I see it, tell you how I see it,
I accept that.
and I'm good with that.
Gotcha.
You know, and I'm all okay with being challenged, but I'm also going to challenge whatever.
So be prepared for
Yeah, it's
the back and forth.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, because my mother always told me, she said, you got one mouth, 2 of everything else. Make sure you use your mouth accordingly. You know, so
Okay.
everything else is double time. I'm watching, I'm listening.
Got you.
You know, I'm contemplating, I'm doing all those things. You know, I'm breathing good, everything, but my mouth is going to stay shut because everything else has to work double time.
I get it. Okay. How do you guys decide on a song list?
Ooh.
Well, deciding is kind of what's happening
It's
now.
still happening right now?
Yeah, it's still happening right now. I think there's the obvious songs that we want to do that we not only were successful chart-wise and in people's minds, you know,
Right.
are culturally significant to people, but also are fun to play, you know.
Got it.
There's some songs that are probably big hits that probably aren't that fun to play, honestly, and we don't maybe feel we do them that great. But I think that's kind of the way we'll start. I mean, we'll start with there's some of the obvious ones, particularly when it comes to the storytelling of it.
Right.
You know, Just Be Good to Me, Tell Me If You Still Care, back in that era. Encore, which was our first official Billboard #1 song on the R&B charts. You know, Tender Love, which was our first top 10 pop record. And then obviously we have to cover, you know, the Janet Jacksons, the New Editions, the Boyz II Men, the
Everything.
Sherelle and Alexander O'Neill,
Right.
you know, and all of those things. So those are the things that'll go in there. We'll throw a couple surprises in there, and also
So it hasn't been mastered yet.
No,
Okay.
we did a kind of a test run. Terry called it the FOLO test run, which was
Okay.
fear of looking old. Terry said, I don't want to be on stage looking old. So we ended up doing, over the past couple of years, I think we've done 16 shows in Japan. We did a festival. We
That's
did Billboard
why I went to
Lives.
Japan.
Yeah.
All right, to work
Yeah.
out the kinks.
Yeah,
and-
we had to see whether we could do it, and we were doing 2 shows a night, 2 90-minute shows a night in Japan.
At the Blue Note.
At the Blue
Yeah.
No, at Billboard Live. At
With the
Billboard
glass
Live.
behind you?
Yes.
And the, okay,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
That used to be Blue Note. Now it's Billboard
Okay,
Live. You're
yeah.
right. Okay.
So anyway, we that kind of gave us the proof in the pudding, so to speak. And then the kind of curation process happened in Atlanta. We did a show, and we had everybody from Yolanda Adams to Deborah Cox to Shantae Moore to Jordan Knight from New Kids on the Block.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean it was an amazing show.
I want to see that show.
Yeah, and what happened was things like, for instance, we started performing one of Usher's songs, but Usher was sitting in the front row. So Ruben Studdard, who's one of our singers, he walked over to Usher and was like, come on up, right? So Usher comes up and hits Bad Girl and hits You Remind Me and
Right.
that kind of thing. So we kind of taking all of those things together is kind of what we want to try to pull off in Vegas, because it'll be us, but then we always say you never know who's going to show.
Okay, so this is what I have to ask about curation. Am I the only person that works backwards?
What do you mean?
If it's an album or now a movie or whatever, or set list, the first thing I want to know is what is the song I'm going to send them home with and how I want them to feel as they're walking to the car. So it's almost like I build shows. In my mind, I feel like the first 15 minutes, people remember. You describe it. And then Michael Jackson floated in from the and explosion or Earth, Wind, and Fire, whatever. You remember the first 15 minutes. And in the case of root shows, I mean, we've had disaster ass. All right, too much Patron for that person. No. But I find that the last 10 minutes of the show is almost like the Men in Black flashy thing that will make you forget or make you
Everything
think
else. Yeah.
you saw a kick-ass show. So
Yes, that's right.
But right now, you're just trying to figure out the perfect 90 minutes and...
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
we know what we like to end with, or kind of the feeling, and we do want to leave the audience with a kind of an elevated feeling.
So obviously,
in spirit.
Optimistic is going to close the show.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe.
What?
Well,
Wait.
we have other songs that kind of do that same thing. Interestingly enough,
Okay.
And we've actually used some of those different songs, and you'll be surprised how effective they actually are.
One time at like Dave Matthews was throwing his festival thing.
Yes.
And the Spin Doctors were on right before the Roots. And I was amazed at how, like, there are two hits, like Two Princes and I forget the name of the other song. Like, they just had it, like, just casually in the middle. Like, oh, and here's some. And I was like, wow, that takes balls to make, like, your two biggest hits, like, filler in the middle. Because in my mind, I'm like, come on, dog. You know good and well they're here for these two songs. And somehow,
yes.
like, oh, and we did this too. And so for me, like, placement is the most important one. Since most of these songs have been presented to your public, so the unique thing that I find about you guys' work is that unlike... Oh, pause. Yes.
Thank you very much. Wow, look at that.
Sorry it took a while.
No worries.
It's no slurping, Jimmy Jam.
What is that you're drinking, Jimmy Jam?
Oh,
By the way,
that's your first invitation.
I'm telling you, and it was always, we were always both names. I was always Jimmy Jam.
Terry Lewis.
Terry was always Terry Lewis.
Really?
Terry Lewis.
Always.
Yep.
Everyone else is Jesse Morris, but you guys are Jimmy Jam.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, everybody was just first names.
Got it.
I put some respect on my name, man.
All
Say,
right.
say
That's
both
right.
of them.
Say both of them. Both of them. Say both my names.
So, I mean, unlike the Gamble and Huff or the Motown catalog, whatever, I'll say that you guys are probably the first super catalog that we also have sort of visual and very specific sound patch memories with. So are there not concerns, but in other words, I don't think I can ever listen to If It Isn't Love and in my head start doing the dances that they do, which obviously that's not there. But like, is it intimidating for the artists that you guys are having to handle the duties to also think about the fact like, okay, am I going to have to put my hat on my foot at the end of this performance or...
Well, no, I don't think so. I think some things lend themselves to the live performance.
Got it.
And some things, because of, like you say, the choreography or the visual memory that you have of certain things, we have to figure out clever ways to do that. But we do have, a huge screen.
Oh yeah, visual.
And we have, so we're able to use the visual stuff that we have. And by the way, a song like If It Isn't Love, for instance, the audience will do the choreography. We don't have to do the choreography.
Okay.
They know how to do that. But yeah, we treat each song differently and try to present it in the best way. And one of the things for me, and I guess people will call this it's not even a humble brag, but it's the thing I like about our show and what we've been able to do thus far is it's the most true reproductions of the songs. Obviously, whether you're going to a Janet show or a New Edition show or Mary J. Blige, you're going to hear our songs.
Got it.
But something about the way we perform them and the way we create them on stage, I think is a little different because we know, it's like the chef's kitchen. We know how those sounds were derived and we know the mix that's supposed to be there on those. So as you're watching a live show, part of the sonic thrill, hopefully, is hearing these songs the way they were really intended to be. You hear the production and you hear the things we can put into it, the spices and little things we can put into it to make it really come to life.
Okay. I always wanted to know this question. In the pre-Pro Tools realization and pre-95, I mean, it's always happened, but in that era, in the beginning era, let's say between 85 and 95. Okay, so there was this particular monster successful funk band whom I found a clip of their concert in 1985. And they're performing it as a band, but none of the patches that are familiar are there. So it's not giving me that oomph. Yes. Now, one of the things that I was worried about when I first saw the Rhythm Nation show in 1990, I was like, man, they're not going to get the patches right. Like there's too many trademark and all the little or the snapping necks noises you guys have for snaps or whatever. And I was shocked that, I don't know how the technology was executed back then as opposed to now where this is on, on stage.
Synclav.
But when you guys send your acts out into the world, and I'm talking about Alexander and Sherelle and SOS Band, in addition to Janet, were you guys also on hand for their bands and the musicians they chose and here's the patches you'll need to pull these off? Or you just...
In the early days, we kind of were, especially for like Sherelle and Alex.
Okay.
We would...
They would rehearse at our place a lot of times.
And we would help them choose the band and give them patches.
Okay. Okay, so when Prince broke up the Revolution, 86, his first move was, Sheila, take me to the Bay Area and let's get the baddest musicians ever.
Yep.
And then I'll say in the early aughts, Philly had that reputation. I mean, like between Bill Jolly or Irv Washington or Adam Blackstone, Omar Edwards.
Yeah.
Shout out to Man. They were pretty much like, I know at least 70 Philly musicians that are actively working until there were no more.
Yes.
And then I'll say like Glasper put on for Houston.
Yep.
They were next. 20, 30 musicians from Houston are now kind of running it. Even Drake's little squad in Toronto has like maybe... But who were in 85 when you were like, yo, these guys will kick ass? Like, where was the hotbed of the best musicians, hands down, that you guys would pick? Or were you loyal to Minnesota? Was there expectations?
Yeah, well,
for you guys to
that was
look out for all the bands from the north side of Minneapolis and all that stuff?
But that's all you knew. Like that was our world. Like we never knew how we compared to everybody outside of Minneapolis. We only knew how we all compared to each other.
But then we all laugh at LA musicians at one point.
We never went to LA.
Yeah, we never. Yeah.
we
Why is that though?
Because we were in Minneapolis, and we couldn't afford to get to LA.
Okay.
We were just young, broke, and we were playing in local bands, competing against each other for the same opportunities.
Got it.
And so that was the pot, So it was the crabs in the barrel, and one crab got out. Prince was that crab. And then he reached back down and he brought a few guys out with him and then gave us all hope. And then
so on.
So on and so forth.
Got
Cynthia Johnson, who was in Flight Times, got out and she sang Funky Town. You know, it was the #1 song in the world. It's like, well, maybe we are kind of valid here. Maybe we do have something special here. But there was always jazz musicians and other people in Minneapolis that would play, and they were super dope.
Yeah. Bobby Lyle.
Yeah.
Just
Craig Peterson.
Yeah. all the Peterson family.
The Peterson family. I mean, I'm not even talking about that Peterson family.
Oh.
I'm talking about the black Craig Peterson.
Oh, okay.
No,
there's black Petersons?
Oh, yeah, it's a black Peterson.
Okay.
Just like there's a black O'Neill.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, what is he, Irish? Yeah.
Yeah, but, you know, we were just comparing ourselves to each other because we didn't know.
Right.
Hey, and we weren't white, so we never got into the white clubs.
Right.
And they would get in the clubs and play black music, but they were never as funky as us.
Got it.
But they got the gig, so I guess we thought we weren't good enough.
I have to say that maybe once or twice a year, I have to go to Minnesota and kiss a specific ring to get clearance in person. And I might have to, most times I make a weekend of it. And on Sundays, I go to where Margie used to sing.
Bunkers?
Yes, Bunkers. Dude, it is still, and I don't mean this in an insulting way, like I love the fact that it's still like 91 in there.
Yeah, it's as it was.
Yeah, which I kind of dug. But even as funky, they called me on stage, so I like played half the songs. But even as funky as it was, like, was that just the normal?
But no, that wasn't it.
Oh, okay.
That was
so not everybody was Sonny Thompson and
No.
Oh, goddamn.
Certainly not Sonny Thompson.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Let me
I love Sonny Thompson.
Yeah. No.
Is Sonny Thompson the Debo of funk? Like he puts the fear of God.
Sonny is
because he's the nicest guy to me in DMs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like
overly ridiculous as a musician.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's a savant as a musician. He was playing the bass upside down, played the guitar upside down. People don't know he's a great singer. I spoke to him a few weeks ago. It's like, man, people don't even know like all your talent. Yeah, Prince made you a bass player, but that's not what he taught Prince how to play guitar.
That's just what I was going to say. Yep.
Got it.
Okay, so that was different because they were the different guys. Sonny was one of those guys. Prince was one of those guys. And everybody else was kind of regular. You know, you had Andre Simone, who was a great musician, you know, just all the charisma in the world, could play his ass off, you know, look good, you know, but on the stage with Prince, who was super dope in every way, he's going to give Prince some competition.
Got it.
You know, because the girls are going to be hollering for Prince, but they're going to be hollering just as loud for Andre Simone.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I can attest to.
Okay.
Why was Shanice and Ruben perfect fits for this particular review? And how big is the not the repertoire? I'm not talking like Broadway. Like how big's the company?
With jazz hands.
Right. How many musicians are there in total for this project?
Oh, in the band? Okay,
Yeah.
so the band is real. We're lean and mean. We got literally drummer, keyboards, and guitar. Terry handles the bass, I handle the keyboards. And then Ruben.
One keyboard player?
One keyboard player, and then myself.
That's two.
Phew.
Yeah, so that's two.
Okay.
I count myself as a keyboard player.
That's one keyboard player that's super dope.
Yeah, super dope.
And super dope
And he's our
Jimmy Jam.
musical director. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, what else? You know,
Yeah.
what
It's
else?
Like
can
somebody
you do?
got to press the
We can cover. Yeah,
button
yeah.
or whatever.
Exactly. But yeah, so Ruben, so here's the thing. Because of the range and repertoire that you have to do, if you're looking for someone that can sing and make and convincingly sing, by the way, it's not like copying the way it was sung necessarily, but who can sing it, make it their own, but, you know, give it that respect of, you know, hitting those notes correctly and hitting those things the way that people want to sing along with the song. Because that's the thing. You want to give people the memory of what it is. So you need somebody who's versatile, and Ruben stuttered. Besides obviously being an American Idol winner, the first one, which is pretty cool, he can handle when we say we're going to do an Alexander O'Neal song, we're going to do an Usher song, we're going to do a New Edition song, we're going to do a Johnny Gill song, so on and so forth. And he can handle it all. And he can handle up-tempos as well as ballads. And he's a great entertainer. I don't know if you've ever seen his Luther show that he does, but he's a great entertainer. He's great with the audience. They fall in love with him. And so he was perfect for the male side of it. For the female side, the toughest person to sing is Janet. Janet is very specific in the way she breathes, in the way she finishes her notes and all that kind of stuff. Shanice, besides being a Star Search winner, which is interesting because Star Search is now back.
Right.
But she won Star Search when she was, 10 years old or whatever she was, really young. But she also then signed to A&M Records. John McClane signed her to A&M Records.
The elusive John McClane.
The elusive John McClane. And so she was like a Janet disciple. Like she knew every Janet note, every run, every choreography step. She knew everything.
Yeah.
And so, once again, when we're trying to do those songs and we need somebody that can really dig into those and know the detail of the way the phrasing happens and all that, Shanice was the perfect person. But also you can throw her, Yolanda Adams. Or
right.
You can throw her Mary J. Blige, or you can throw her all these different singers.
She got range.
And she's got range. She can do it. So they're the perfect foundation for what we do. And they have no fear. Like literally we'll switch a song or an arrangement up on the day that we're going to do it.
Got it.
And they're just into it. They're just like, okay, yeah, we got it. So they're perfect.
When I found out Shanice was the singer, I was like, oh, this is perfect. And actually, weird enough, I think I found out about the residency the day that Brian Lorin passed away.
Yes,
and
I think so too. Yes,
shout out to Brian. And so I went back to listen to the first record and realized, like, oh man, this is like the perfect choice for this review.
Yeah.
All right, so I have questions to ask about a few, and yes, I'm not going to do the 12-hour Jam and Lewis, what I really want to do. But I do have a few questions about some of your clients. I want to start with the SOS band. One thing I always wanted to know was, like, 82, 83 for me was like a transitional year, especially for the black band. And this is a band that had 3 albums previous before you guys came to them, and they were a band in the studio. If you listen to those first 3 records, like today is, I think right now we're dealing with to AI or not AI. The 90s was like to copy paste or not copy paste. All right, you did the chorus once and we'll just, put it out.
Loop it.
Right. And the 80s was to sample or not to sample. But how do you have to explain to a band, like, like you guys aren't, like, we have drum machines now and like technology that you're not needed, not needed for, but for you to work your sauce. Like, do you have to convince them that you don't have to play this as a band? It'll sound better the way that we're presenting it to you?
I don't think we ever had to do that. I think we just had ideas, concepts. So we were fans of SOS. I mean, Take Your Time and Do It Right was a huge hit.
Yeah, amazing.
Right.
But past that, I mean, I don't even remember another song. And so we had our ideas as fans of Take Your Time, Do It Right in the SOS band and Mary Davis and that voice, kind of what we could do. And at that time, it wasn't even an 808. I think it was a 303. It was a little tiny drum machine that made basically the same sounds as the 808. But when we went to try to record it, we could only do it out in stereo out. We couldn't.
Oh, not individual.
We couldn't stem it out, and there was no MIDI for it. And so they brought an 808, and that's how we got into doing the 808.
When the 808 first arrives to you guys, is it like, well, I mean, you came from Prince World, so obviously you knew what a Lindrum machine was.
Yes.
But, were you guys totally 100% with this, or
what it did?
Was it as controversial as AI is now? Like, what
No.
happens to the working
No.
musician?
No, it only really factored into a drummer's world. Because some of the drummers were, you're going to use that drum machine?
Right.
They're hating on it just because they were threatened
Right.
in terms of the usability of it.
Okay.
Because that meant that you didn't need a drummer.
Got it.
But as a bass player, I never liked drum machines because it doesn't move. It doesn't let me be slippery.
You have to be married to the drummer.
Yeah, it's gotta.
Right.
I gotta stay right with the beat. I can't.
Got it.
I can't move it.
There's if you remember Rock and Soul magazine, and
Absolutely,
I think Steve Ivory used to write for it, and at that time he had like crazy access to Michael Jackson. It's so weird that there's an 81 issue of Rock and Soul where basically Steve Ivory's story is a package arrives at Encino, and it's all this new technology. Like they pull out an Oberheim synthesizer and they pull out a drum machine, and it's so weird between Michael, is it Barnes? John Barnes?
John Barnes.
I think.
Yeah.
Whoever the engineer was, it's like 4 people in the room, and they don't know it yet, but they're literally talking about AI. Like the first thing was like, "What's this thing?" And they had to explain like drum machines, and they're writing about you could just program it, and you don't need a drummer anymore. And first they were joking about like, musicians are going to be out of work or whatever. And then Michael just goes off on the tangent, like, then one day, I wanted to do so many takes because, I could save my voice because, machines will just fix it. And who knows? I predict in 50 years, there are going to be like computers out there that will try to, emulate our voices. And the engineer corrects him and says, well, but it's not going to catch the sensitivity or the emotion of like she's out of my life. And Michael's like, yeah, it probably will in 50 years or something. Like literally it's like a moment of time. Okay, so I have to ask a question about, and I joke with you in this, and I texted you, Jimmy, about this. Okay, upside down with aside, when Mary Davis got Just Be Good to Me, was she fine with it? Only because I think one day it hit me that like she's basically like, I forgot who I said to. I was like, so Mary is cool with like her man having side chicks or whatever. It's like as long as he comes home to her, that's all she. I said, wow, she co-signed that. And the weird thing was, someone listed like at least 5 other songs like that. One of them being Upside Down by Diana Ross. But at the time, was the song just so irresistible that there wasn't a protest from Mary's end? Like, wait a minute.
I don't think Mary ever protested anything that we
Okay.
would suggest. But I think, when the sign of the times, bro, like just the women that I grew up around
right.
is like I was raised by women.
Got it.
And all the women were side chicks.
Oh, dude, a product of
You know what I'm saying?
both my parents was each other's side chicks. So.
Yeah, right. So like, I don't know any different. It's like that was accepted. So, bring the check home and I'll see you Monday.
Right.
Yeah, right.
It's like they come home on Friday, drop off the check, and where you going? I'm gonna be out in the streets.
All right.
And then that's what it was.
Yep.
But that's also where that song "Who's Making Love to Your Old Lady While You Was Out Making Love" came
Every
from.
Jody.
Yes, that's right.
All the Jodies out there.
That's right.
When you guys were taking on full albums, entire projects, was there ever like double lapping? In other words, like when you're doing the Affair album, are you also subsequently working on Heartbreak, or was it always a rule of just one project at a time with our client, and when we're done, we'll book another?
It started out that way.
Yeah.
It started out that way. There wasn't that much work. I mean, we were just doing the work that came, the opportunities that came. We tried to meet the consideration at that point. But it became a time where it was coming so fast where we had to pull in friends and give other opportunities out, and we had to split up sometimes, And sometimes I have this thing about being the sixth toe. Because I think you have.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
No, it's a bad thing.
Okay.
If you stay in that shoe too long, because it doesn't allow like an artist like Janet to grow and become the writer that she's become. So for me, writing everything for Janet is not good because I want to hear Janet's voice, even if we have to do things to alter it or change it or correct it or make it work. I still want to hear her voice. I want her ideas to be interjected. So, her ownership of a project, or Usher's ownership of a project, is just more involved. You get people like Mariah, who just naturally is a great writer, or she learned over the years, I'm sure, from somebody. But when we start working with her, she was already accomplished, and that was a whole different thing. So you don't need to feed into it. But when I'm the sixth toe, I try to move out and do something else.
Yep.
So there have been situations where you just work on the music and be like, you take it first and see what you get, or
let them take it,
Yeah.
and then see if I can get something better.
Yeah. I mean, actually, Janet and Usher are great examples of kind of the way that some of that would work. Now, we would pretty much clear the calendars for Janet, just because we were always doing the whole albums. A lot of times with the artists, we weren't doing the whole albums. But with Janet, we were, and of course, doing it under a lot of scrutiny and a lot of, and a lot to follow up, because once you have that first one, the follow-up is always the toughest thing.
Is there ever a deadline as far as, I mean, obviously, I would assume with Janet, it's over when it's over.
No, but we always tried to adhere to the deadlines. Now, back in those days, you had to be done with the album like 3 months before it actually came out.
For the press.
And a lot of times, I remember the thing that was the most frustrating part of that was not the recording, but the credits. There was such a premium on making sure that the credits were correct. And that was the thing. It was like, well, we don't need you to turn in the actual music yet, but we do need the credits. And it's like,
and what if you switch up last minute and then you can't? Yeah, I've been in that situation before.
Yeah.
So that was just because the artwork had to be done.
The artwork, yeah.
Okay.
All of those,
And
those things.
That's money. Once you press up a bunch of artwork wrong and you have to change it, that's just lost leader. Like,
got it.
it's gone.
Yeah. But I think with Janet, I think Terry, in some ways, and I hate to even use the analogy six toe, but I think in some ways he looked at Janet and I, and we had such a close kind of relationship and a close kind of bond that Terry would always kind of be like, I'm here when you need me, Okay. I think I told you the story about living in a world they didn't make. So Janet and I were in the studio working, and then we saw some stuff on CNN about a school shooting.
Right.
And we're trying to figure out, we got to write a song. We got to figure that out. Terry walks into the studio. He was building our new studio at that point in time. He walks in with a carpet sample in one hand and I don't know, wallpaper in the other hand. And he goes, hey, which one of these do you think is the one? And we're like, no, Terry, we got this song, man. We got this idea. It's the kids. Man, the kids are they're getting messed up, man. It's not their fault. And we give this whole big, long dissertation of what the song is. And Terry just goes, living in a world they didn't make. And we said, yeah. And he goes in the conference room about 5-10 minutes later, hands us the lyrics, and goes, okay, now which wallpaper and which So, but that was a case where, we said, we need Terry for this. Like, we're not going to be able to figure this out. Vice versa with Usher. So I worked with Usher first on the Kazam soundtrack on Shaq's movie. We did a song called Swear I'm in Love. Usher.
That's good.
Hey, I've been on many an airplane, so
okay, so
I've seen Kazam.
There you go. So Usher came up literally for the day, and we just did the song real quick. And Terry wasn't there, and we did the song real quick. And so fast forward maybe a year later, something like that, or maybe a little later, and Terry literally came into my office and said, "Jam, I think I'm ready to retire." I was like, I said,
yes,
yeah.
What was the decision behind that?
I'll let Terry tell the story, and then I'll wrap up the analogy.
Because music wasn't using English by this point, and
no.
Here you come with your complete sentences and your poetry.
I mean, I'm simply complex. Questions like, just check it out. Like, I just started feeling like people were just phoning it in. Nobody wanted to really work. Nobody wanted to explore. Nobody wanted to do things outside of the box. Everybody was just phoning it in. I just didn't feel it anymore. And, I'm one of those kind of people where I feel like if I make the perfect record, that's the day I retire. And if I don't feel like I can better what I used to do, then I'm going to do something else, because there's a lot of things to do. So I just felt like I wasn't progressing, and nobody wanted to kind of inspire me to do anything different. So I was like, yo, man, I can do something different, Jam. And Jam was like, well, not me. I'm loving this, whatever. But I told him that, just being candid.
What year was this?
Sheesh. Man, I can't remember.
I can't either. I'm gonna pin.
What album was that?
Well, the album, I'll tell you, the album that derived from it was the 8701 album.
Yes.
90
8701.
No. My Way was 97.
Yeah.
2001 was
2000.
Okay.
2001. So right.
Oh, it's in the title.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go. But so I said to Terry, because he said nobody was inspiring him, and that's one of the things. I mean, really, the songs that we write come from the inspiration of working with the artists. Mm-hmm. And I mentioned Usher to Terry. I said, man, you got to get with Usher. I said, this dude, you'd love him. You'd love him. And I remember we had Usher come to town, actually initially to finish a song that he had already started. And then that turned out so well that I'm telling you, when Usher and Terry met, it was like literally, like love at first sight.
Got it.
Because Usher had all these ideas, and Terry could, even though he has no filter, but he can filter other people, and he can go, no, let's focus on this lyric and this melody and this kind of stuff, right? And then there was a song we had written for actually a girl that we ended up not working with that Terry said, Jam, remember that song we had with that melody that went da-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, or whatever it was? And I said, oh, yeah, I remember that. He said, I'm going to do something with that. Well, by the time that evening ended, which was kind of the three of us, the next day when Usher came back to the studio, I took my ass to the other room because I did not need to be there. They needed to have their time together. So in that case, I was a sixth toe. And it was interesting because Usher spoke on our there's a Jam and Lewis documentary that's being done. And one of the things I heard Usher say that I never really knew until I heard him say it in the documentary was he thought I didn't like him because I was never around. and he would go to Terry. He'd go, Terry, where's Jam at? And he'd go, oh, he's over there. He's over there. It's like, why did he never come around? He never comes around. And then one day he wanted to do a song that was like, he wanted to do kind of a tender love type of song.
All right.
And he said to Terry, man, I want to do one of those tender love type, ballads with the piano and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then Terry goes, oh, well, you got to talk to Jam about that. And so then he sends, Usher over to me, and we ended up doing a song, Can You Help Me?
Got it.
Which was, yeah. So at that point was when Usher realized that it was just one of those things where I'm around if I'm needed, but you guys don't really need me. You guys got it. You have that magic.
When you take on a client, do you have songs already and like, here are these songs? What do you think? Or is it like, do you try to forward it? Like, do you do it on the spot with them? Like, do they want the horse and pony show or the smoke and mirrors of it all?
Definitely a combination.
Yeah. I mean, we always prided ourselves on, I always say the best compliment we ever got would be when an artist would say, oh, that's, oh, I love this. This is the way I should sound. And I remember the best one, though, was Barry White. Mm-hmm. And I remember on Barry White, we were working. At that point, we still had Perspective Records, but we had taken over the whole black department of A&M Records because at that point, they were shutting down all the black departments. This is like mid-'90s.
Okay.
And so they said, we'll keep the black department if you guys want to run it. And we didn't want to run it. But
wait, they literally, was Gil Friesen there at the time?
Yeah, Gil Friesen was there. Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah, but it was happening. It was a industry-wide thing that was happening. They were getting rid of the black divisions at all the labels. And so A&M,
I never knew this.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were the guinea pigs for, hey, we're going to start a black division. So I just thought there was a fever out there. I didn't realize that there was a drought.
Oh, yeah. No, there was definitely a drought.
Okay.
And so...
Well, black music had become pop music at that point, too.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
And so the pop department was taking all that revenue and shoving it back into their department. Mm-hmm. And they were getting rid of the urban department because all of it was pop anyway.
Right.
Got it.
Yep. So anyway, so we ended up on Barry White. We said, well, we'll produce a couple songs on Barry. And we did these 2 songs. And I remember, I would always do the demos of the songs, right? So I'm on there like, yeah, baby. And I'm doing my Barry White voice, and, the whole thing, right? So he comes to town. We play him the song. And when the song goes off, he just doesn't say anything. And we always called him Mr. White. He was never Barry. He was Mr. White. Mm-hmm. I said, Mr. White, what do you think? And he sat there for a second, then he reared back with this big laugh. And he said, oh, ha, 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 ha. sounds like me. And we said, sounds like me. That's what you want all artists to feel. If we wrote a song for them, we would want them to feel like that's their song. And he felt like that's my song.
When he said that, you knew that was the green light?
Yes.
See, I would have been scared because I want him to say feels like me.
Yeah.
So,
No.
okay.
He says sounds like me.
I'm about to say you nailed it, actually.
Yeah.
And how you guys captured it was derived from, you took it from a very specific sounding Barry White song that wouldn't be Captain Obvious. I think anyone else would instantly try to bow chicka wow wow their way into I'm going to love you a little bit.
Yes, yeah.
Like if it were Dan Hartman, oh God bless Dan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I love Dan.
You've
I
heard
got you. I feel you.
Gravity record with James Brown. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, I actually thought it was very tasteful for how you guys handled that.
I'll tell you one more quick one that we felt the same way about was we loved the Isley Brothers. And Chris Jasper, for me, keyboard-wise,
Moogie.
that's my guru as far as writing and inspiration for the way that I did chords and all that stuff. And I remember when the Isley Brothers were going to come to town, and we had this song called You're All I Need. And I remember I hadn't even sung the demo to it yet. So when we started playing it, I started singing. And so it was Ernie and Ron in the room. And I start singing, and I go, da-da-da, da-da-da, like that. And then Ron goes, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like he knew where it was going.
I got it.
And then Ernie goes, you got an acoustic guitar? It's like, yeah. And he starts playing. And that's when you knew you nailed it. And that's one of the things I think is probably our superpower as writers and producers is being able to analyze what somebody has done before, what worked, what didn't work, and then making that song that feels like them. Lionel Richie was a funny one because you didn't realize we did the Ohio
God.
Players on, right?
When I put that
Take
in the
you
chat,
down?
there's two versions of the chat.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Now I feel bad that he's not in the chat. I have a chat group of every producer known, but I made a specific one just for him to come in and whatever. But when we listened to I Want to Take You Down, I was actually mad as shit. Like, that's the first time I got mad at you guys. And I was like, why would they give him such a banger like that? I don't know. It's just like...
But we did. But see, the first song we did with Lionel, because we said with Lionel, we want to take you back to the Commodore's days.
Yeah.
And we did a song called Don't Want to Lose You.
The Soul Train video.
Yes, exactly. And when he heard that song, he just was kind of like, he just kind of listened, and I'm like, oh, girl. And I'm doing basically Lionel Richie. And he goes, man, he said, y'all literally just wrote like my song. Like, I know that's my song, but I couldn't write it because I've already written that song, but you guys wrote my song, you know?
Got it.
And that was always the best compliment to me that you would get from people with any artist.
Okay, so when you take on a client, and I know sometimes a client will come in with a team, you know, a best friend, a sibling, a manager, micromanaging A&R, whatever. I'm certain now your Jedi mind trick games are like
superb.
Yeah, I was going to say without naming a name. How do you guys know to, especially when you wear glasses all the time? Like how do you communicate with each other when you want to have a conversation, but you know you have to communicate without letting off that you're going to Jedi mind trick them, or you know, just do one more take, or
just let it flow, man. You know,
you don't Jedi mind trick.
That is the Jedi mind trick.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
You just let it flow. Like, I'm not looking for anything perfect. Everything to me is perfectly imperfect anyway. So that's just part of what it is, and we just let it flow, and what's best wins. Yeah. So I love when artists think they know. I say, please.
Are you that give somebody some rope to hang themselves?
Man, I'll let you go out there.
Yep.
I'll let you go, and I'll listen. And I say, okay, one more time, 1 more time, 10 more times, 20 more. Is it how you like it yet? Oh, you got it? Okay, why don't we try it my way? All right, so let's get it. That's how I am.
I'll tell you.
I'm that way with Usher, by the way. But that's just on the. But who is a stubborn artist that you don't mind saying is stubborn? as far as like wanting to chase perfection or this isn't right?
Well, I mean, hey, Shaka was the other way.
Mm-hmm.
I did enough. That's enough. But it's not right, baby.
Oh, I forgot
right.
those. Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
There's the one or two takes and that's it.
That's it. You know, you got it. But but your timing's bad and your pitch is bad. And certainly I can tune it, but you can sing it faster than I can tune it.
Can you say that?
What?
You pull no punches.
No.
You're the good bad cop of being bad cops?
No, I'm just honest. You know, fact doesn't care how you feel.
Yep.
I'm going to say what I got to say, and you can take it how you want to take it. Now, this is going to be your record forever.
Yes.
I'm going to be done with it in a couple hours here if this is what you're going to give me.
Have you said these words to people?
Yes. Yes.
I'm not trying to argue with people about stuff.
So who wins this arm wrestle?
Well, we all try to win the record game. Like, we all try to make the best record we possibly can. I asked Sting, we work with Sting on some products.
Okay.
And I asked Sting, I said, well, how many times do you like to sing something? He said, not very many. And I said, all right, bro.
Right. So that's what
That's
we know what it is.
Whatever it is, that's what it's going to be. So this is the best we going to get?
Wait a minute.
We'll deal
Okay,
with it.
I've not heard this song. Did you?
Oh, it's called My Funny Friend and Me.
Oh,
It is
from the
Sting.
kitchen. You
From-
know
yes.
what? I think I went to
The premiere?
what's
Did you go to the premiere?
No. What's the Disney theater on?
Yeah, the El Capitan.
Right. I think I went there once because I didn't know this existed, and I had to go to Disney for some reason, and I didn't know the whole thing. Like they do a magic show, And they're like, "Ladies and gentlemen, Sting," and he came and performed this song at.
We performed with him.
Did I see you guys?
You saw us, and that was the thing. When the movie ended, the screen came up,
Right.
and we started playing. I didn't know you were there.
Yes.
Yeah, because my son was there. Tyler had just been born. He was maybe 4 years old, 5 years old.
I had to pull for some reason. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But okay.
Yeah. How
But-
about that? Wow.
Well,
I didn't realize you were there.
Sting is one of my favorite incorrect harmony. If you're a fan of the Police, his harmony choices are they're correct, but they're incorrect because he doesn't do the full chord. He might do like the first and the fifth and the seventh chord, and
That's
it'll
right.
clash.
Yes.
But I love it. So if someone has a trademark or something like that, like, again, do you just let them roll with it or?
Absolutely. Style matters more than anything to me. I mean, correct, not correct, that's arbitrary. But, if you got a style, man, if people can recognize your work right away, they hear a few notes and they say, oh, that's, then you got something. Now we got something to work with.
Yeah.
Now let's figure out how to make that style into something cool.
I think when we were working, I remember when we were working with Mary J. Blige, and I remember we played her a bunch of songs because we had done a bunch of all kind of different kind of sounding songs for her because we were trying to expand, what she was doing. And she didn't like any of them. And she was just like, nah. And we were like, well, Mary, what are you looking for?
How do you take rejection?
Oh, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You never took.
You don't get
Has someone turned down a song that like you later gave to someone else? It's like it worked.
Probably.
It probably so. Although we didn't do a lot of that because we were so specific in making our songs for a specific artist.
Right.
The one I mentioned earlier that ended up with Usher, which ended up being a song called "Twerk It Out," which was a pretty big record for him just as an album cut. But that was for another artist. But it was just a melody, and we had never really got with that artist. Other than we did get, it was her artist. We got with her one time, and just were like, it wasn't compatible.
Got it.
It was one where somebody thought it would be a great idea if we got together, and it just wasn't. So that was one case.
How long in the process do you know if it's not going to work?
I think pretty much immediately, but we would always do our homework before we would even work with an artist. We'd always have long conversation, or we'd try to meet with them, and we would try to see, in having conversations with them, everybody has their own dialect, their own way that they talk, their own phrases and those kinds of things. And we would always kind of sit and talk, and as the talking was happening, there'd be certain phrases or certain ways they'd say or certain subjects they'd want to talk about. And then we would Terry would be writing stuff down. I might be sitting at a piano and just playing some chords. And if all of a sudden in the conversation they'll go, wait, what's that you just played? And I'll be like, oh, that was just this. And then Terry will go, do you hear something for that? And they might hear a little bit of a melody and something. And then Terry would go, well, that sounds like, I love something, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And so when those kinds of organic things happen, I think that's when we would know that, yeah, this is the right artist. But we would also have to feel like we were the best people for doing that artist.
Got it.
There were so many artists that we kind of turned away. Probably most famous, I wouldn't say most famously, but a big one, because he's on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ballot this year, is Pink. Mm-hmm. So Pink, Roger Davies, the manager, he wanted her to come to Minneapolis because she was making this rock record, and they were scared. They were like, you got to put some R&B songs on here. So we cool. So Pink comes up. We instantly wrote a song, something about girlfriend, but I just can't remember what it was. But we instantly wrote a song, and it was cool. And then we said, well, what are you looking for? And she said, oh, the record company just feels like, I'm going to lose my audience and whatever. We said, oh, wow. We said, can we hear what you've got so far? Mm-hmm. And she said, okay. So she plays us the record, and it's all the Linda Perry stuff. Mm-hmm. There's some Dallas Austin stuff. Mm-hmm. I think it's brilliant. And so we're like, you don't need us. You got your record. And she said, yeah, well, L.A. Reid kind of feels like whatever. We said, oh, okay. I said, we'll call L.A. So I called L.A. Oh, he goes, how's Pink coming? How's Pink coming? I said, L.A., it's coming cool, but I said, you don't really need us on this project. He said, well, what do you need? What do you mean? And I said, let me give you 2 examples. I said, there was a girl in Canada who was, she was okay. She was selling records. She was, nice pop star, nice thing. Said she came to America. She made a record called Jagged Little Pill. He said, Alanis Morissette. I said, yeah. I said, then there was this guy. I said, he had like a double platinum album, like a top 10 single. He's kicking butt. It's going to be great. And I said, the next album he comes out with some leg warmers and a trench coat and bikinis. And he goes, Prince. And I said, yeah. And I said, okay, now, because I told him, take your record company hat off. Mm-hmm. And I said that. And then I said, now, put your record company, oh no, before that, I said, take your record company hat off. So he says, are you telling me you think Pink is Prince and Alanis Morissette?
A star?
Yep. Mm-hmm. And I said, yes. And I said, now, put your record company hat back on. You have your first single. And he said, what's that? I said, Get the Party Started. And he said, why? I said, because Get the Party Started.
He didn't see that?
At the time, well, at least that wasn't what he was telling them.
Okay.
And he said, because it keeps her old audience. I mean, they won't be offended by that record. Mm-hmm. But it will bring in a new audience for her in the direction that she wants to go. And I remember then, 4 months later, the album comes out, mm-hmm. and everybody called us, because this is pre-internet and all that stuff, so we were getting phone calls. What'd y'all do on Pink's album? So we didn't do anything on her album. And they said, well, in the credits, she thanks you. She says, thank you, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. And I said, oh, we made a phone call. So we had a lot of situations like that where we turned something down, or we said, ABC, the English group, after we did the Human League, ABC, they said, we're trying to make a Jam and Lewis record. We said, okay, cool. And we said, play us what you got. And they said, we want you guys to produce this song. We said, okay, cool. We go to, I think we're at A&M. And they play this song, and we're like listening to it. And Terry said it when the song went off. Terry said, I got 4 words for you. And they said, what's that? He said, put that shit out.
Oh,
and they said, what do you mean put that shit out? We said, put that shit out. You don't need us on this record. And they were like, oh, well, we don't know. It was How to Be a Millionaire. Ended up being a huge record for them. Okay. But it was one of those things where, I'll give you one last example of it while I'm thinking about it. Clive Davis calls us to New York. He says, I'm working on a Aretha Franklin record, and we think, we'd like for you guys to do. And Clive's thing was, but we just need, if you would do demos of whatever. And we'd always go, Clive, we don't do demos. And we said, who else is on the record? And he named a couple people. All right. And then he goes, and then there's this young fella, he's kind of new, Narada Michael Walden. And we said, oh, he's the one. He's the one. Narada Michael. Well, he's kind of untested, and he's kind of what? I said, untested? I said, no. I said, no, he's a serious musician. He's the one. Fast forward to 3 months later, Freeway of Love.
You could have been on Whom, Zoom, and Who?
Yeah.
Did you know about the intimidating factor of Aretha Franklin back then?
no, we had a whole concept of what we wanted to do with Aretha.
Wait, it's 85 pre-control. Like, and you were fine with just being like, we're good.
Because not everything was meant for us.
Yes.
There were so many things that
See, I don't know how to say the words. I don't know how to say the words no. I'm learning now.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also like my 34th year in show business.
Well, but it wasn't for us. It never was no. And by the way, the no for us, it was always a no with a but. No, but you know who would be really great for this would be this person, or you should go see this person. We did a lot of that.
Right.
And even with Lionel Richie, when he first called us on the Dancing on the Ceiling album, is when he first called us, and we said he wanted one record. He said, "I just need one record," and we're like, "Nah, come back when you need 3 records."
You just didn't want a one-off.
No, we didn't want to do a one-off. We wanted to explore him, and we were a fan enough where we felt we could tell a story in the 3 songs we did.
Got it.
You know, whatever those 3 songs were or 4 songs. So that was the way we looked at it, and we just never felt like we had to be the perfect person for it. And if we saw somebody else that was the perfect person, then that's what we'd try to, move it in that direction.
Yeah, and the other side of it too is that we've never been afraid of being rejected. Like that's how we got to do Janet.
Yeah, exactly.
I still laugh at. I'm sorry,
That's
I
right.
shouldn't laugh at the Sharon story. Sorry, Sharon.
Yeah, boy, we got rejected.
Have you?
I'm not mad.
Have you guys
about it.
ever came across her after that?
Yes.
And did she sort of say like, "Damn"?
She didn't say this directly to me, but what I heard from someone who is a relative of hers,
Right.
was that she was intimidated by us. She didn't feel she was worthy of us.
And at that time, there was not much to be worthy of.
Yeah, I mean, we had a couple hits, but
yeah, it was. Yeah, it was nothing to be afraid of.
yeah, right, yeah, nothing to be afraid of. And I think people were I think she was a little intimidated.
I hate
Yes.
when people get in their own way, man.
Yeah, but like I said, we're boys from Minneapolis, man. I'm like we're used to rejection. That was just part of the day.
Yeah,
But wait, I have one question though. When Mary's saying like, "I don't like this, I don't like that," if you're creating on the spot, okay, I guess as a drummer, I feel like everything for me has to be the feeling, the pace, and the
Yes.
pulse, and the drummer. So when I'm creating stuff, I'm on drums, but like, how do you make the person see the vision if it's just like you got to program something real quick and do you know the exact drum patches you want to use?
So with Mary, in that particular case, so in Mary, like I say, we had put together a bunch of tracks just to have some ideas, just to play her, just to get a feel of what it was she was trying to do.
Got it.
When she didn't like the 3 or 4 things that we played her, we said, "What is it that you're looking for?" And she said, "I want something that sounds like me." And we were like, "Okay, something that sounds like you. Okay, cool. Well, we got this other track here." And we played her the track with the, is it the
You Are
Moonchild?
Everything?
No. Love Is All We Need. Would end up becoming Love Is All We Need.
Right.
And when that record came on, boom, 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 and she got up and started doing the Mary J. Blige dance. Her and her
She
sister.
did the Aunt Mary. Okay.
Yeah. She started hitting that dance and she said, "Oh, hell yeah. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about." And we said, "Yeah, but isn't Puffy giving you songs like this?" She said, "I ain't working with Puffy."
Got it.
And then we said, "Oh, okay, well then we got this other one, which was Everything."
Right.
And she heard that and she was like, "Oh my God, this is it. This is it." So those are the kind of things that kind of happen. So when we gave her exactly what it was she wanted, we thought she was already getting that from someone else. So we were like, "Okay, well, we'll try to take her in another. Puffy's got that handled. We'll go in this direction with her."
Your post-heartbreak phase, were you two at all concerned? And I know the correct answer is yes, we have to go linear and change with the times and not be sentimental and move forward, yada, yada, yada. But there are, especially after 1995, in which I'm getting, it's one thing when you have an album and you read credits and all that stuff. But during the CD era, occasionally I read the books or whatever, but I honestly didn't know that y'all did Bad Girl. Or like half the stuff y'all did, I didn't even realize it was you guys until like years later. Like, they did that? Doesn't even sound like them. Was there ever a conversation that you two had like, we have to modernize and be present with where music's going today?
I don't think we ever think like that.
No.
Like,
Okay.
What feels best? I never think about modern or any of that. I mean, if you keep up with technology, I guess you'll be modern, I guess, to a certain degree. But, I have a way of thinking about things. I know most people don't know what they like. They like what they know. So if you can get something that they can recognize as part of their DNA, then you got something or the start of something. So
I thought Love Is All We Need was very smart because that wasn't a Captain Obvious sample.
Right.
Unless you had the Glow record. You didn't know.
That's right.
Yeah. So even to me, like, I was like, okay, well, they're going there, but they're going another.
Yeah.
But that's how Jam samples. He samples different than other people. I mean, his loops are just different.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, I will say on that record, when you're talking about somebody that isn't quite bringing the performance, so the interesting thing was when Nas came up to do his rap, and I remember it was the first time. I mean, Terry and I don't drink, so. But I remember there was all of a sudden a bunch of Guinness at the studio.
Okay.
And I remember Nas went in to do his rap. And, we didn't fancy ourselves as rap producers. But he goes in and does his rap, and he does, 3 or 4 takes and stuff. And Mary's like, yeah, this is great. And we're kind of going, we're like, dude, are you sure? You want to do another one? He's like, no, this is it. I got it. Cool. Okay, cool. So we mix the record. We send the record, and he goes, oh, no, hell no, I got to come back and redo that rap. It's like, okay, cool. And so he did. And, of course, he killed it when he came back.
Right.
But that was kind of interesting. I mean, because I'm not going to say to Nas, I mean, we weren't experts in rap. So it's like, if you think this is good, I mean, your standards. If you think this is up to your standards, then we're not going to argue with you.
Has a rap group ever approached you guys, or a rap artist ever approached you guys about producing them?
Snoop did. And we had some great ass shit for him. Oh, my God.
And he wanted the 808 and...
I don't even know what he wanted. I just remember we had, I thought it was like a magic session. It blew his mind, because we were just coming up with song after song, track after track. And he was like, oh, man, yeah, okay, I got to really think on this. So maybe he didn't really like it. I don't know. But we never ended up doing a thing on him.
What year was this?
Let's see, we were in the old studio, so 2008, maybe 2007, 2008, around that period of time.
Damn.
I want to say. Yeah.
Okay.
And we had, I don't know, we probably did 10 tracks on him, something like that. And he loved.
And they're still in existence?
They're on a hard drive somewhere, yeah.
Somewhere, yep.
Yeah.
Are they timeless enough to still come out now, or?
I'd have to listen to them. I don't remember them. I just remember the vibe was great.
Okay.
Because we wanted, we kind of felt like we always wanted to blow the artists' minds when they came in. We wanted to surprise them, and, whatever their expectation was, we wanted to try to blow them away. And Snoop, we were such big fans of his. And we always treated it like we're fans of the person that's coming in. So what would we want to hear if we had gone to the record store and picked that record up or that CD up? What would we want to hear on that CD? And then that was the songs we would try to create.
Got it.
And we did that. We did that with Snoop, but we had some great stuff. But we actually forged a great relationship because of that.
Would you say that she's kind of the testing ground for Jam and Lewis? Because, I listened to her entire discography that you guys did in the last 2 weeks and noticed that you guys used way different drum machines, different ideas. Where'd that saxophone come from? I never heard of this before, whatever. So was she always a testing ground for you to see how far you can push ideas? Or was that a mental telepathy moment?
No.
It's a great question, a great observation.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is, because I know that you're also responsible for the sequence thing. I forgot to ask you this. On a fair, I got a fair. By then, I was in Columbia House, so I got a fair the first week it came out. Discreet had a different intro on it. I have a version of a fair where Discreet has her in a party talking to her girlfriend, whatever, at the intro. And then now on streaming, Discreet starts with her sing backwards. What's the next song, Jimmy Jam? But it's backwards. Why were there 2 versions of that? Was that?
I have no idea. I'd have to hear the other version that you have.
Yeah.
Okay. There's 2 Off the Walls, right?
Okay. well, yeah. I mean, I know
There's Rock
two,
With You without the claps, and there's
Yes.
Get on the Floor without a guitar part.
Yeah.
And then
like there's two talking books, right?
Wait.
Isn't there with the You Are the Sunshine of My Life? Because there's the ones with the horns in it that has the horns, dun, 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 and there's the original album didn't have those horn sections on them.
Ooh, I gotta check that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
didn't know that. But no, I was just wanted to know, was there a method of, did you hear it mid thing like, that's the wrong version? They put keys up version, and did you switch?
I don't remember. So now I'm gonna have to jog my memory and find out about that.
And because you guys also handled the sequencing of the record, why is Everything I Miss at Home like, whenever a song is like the fourth song on side 2, and this is also from a guy whose biggest single was the third to last song on this,
Yes,
like an hour into it.
Yep.
Why did y'all put that so late when I figured Everything I Miss at Home would at least be on side 1 and hit him with it? But
Because it was kind of its own thought. And when we sequenced albums, I mean, we use different philosophy for different artists. But I know on a lot of times we would put the up-tempos up front and we would try to, in some way, segue them together, which I know on the Affair album we did that. We segued the first 3 songs together. And so I think Everything I Miss at Home was the first song on the B side.
You asked something about like Sherelle. Was she
your
experimental?
tester, yes.
Yeah.
And I have to say, to a certain degree, yes, because she had
Was she fine with this?
yes,
Yes.
Because-
she actually revered it. Actually.
Yes.
She was a guinea pig for a lot of stuff and was happy about it.
Okay.
yeah. We learned how to work a studio recording her album.
Got it. Okay.
We actually tried to work hard to find her songs because she's such a quirky person, her personality, and she has a quirky voice. So you have to find the songs that fit her personality.
Got it.
You know, so
Okay.
so
No, we had an engineer walk out on us when we were doing the album that was just Saturday Love on it, and the engineer just walked out on us, and so we had to figure out how to record ourselves. And we just said we're never going to be dependent on somebody.
Because of late hours or just
no.
No, it was a business. It was a business thing. They wanted to be partners with us on a studio, and so we were like, okay, great, let's do it. And so we ended up,
It's not Steve.
yeah.
Well, it's a different Steve.
Oh, different Steve.
Oh,
yeah.
another Steve.
No,
Yeah.
it's a different Steve.
Other
Not Steve
Steve.
Hodge. Not Steve Hodge.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
like, wait.
No worries. It was a different Steve and his partner, and they had actually Creation Audio down their basement of their house, and that's where we did Didn't Mean to Turn You On. We did the Change album, Change of Heart down
Okay.
there. A lot of it down there. Anyway, so so I remember our accountant.
No, I did the numbers.
Okay, there you
I
go.
showed them to Clarence, and cause motherfucker, you can't have no studio.
Yep.
Quincy Jones don't have a studio. And I was
Right.
like, Clarence, these are the numbers.
Yep.
And if we're bringing the work, we need a studio. We're gonna pay somebody for a studio.
Might as
Look
well
at the
be you.
numbers.
Right.
He looked at him and said, "You know what? You're right. Motherfucker, shit." And so Clarence he's pissed about it. So, we went back to the guys and told them like, okay, so your expertise, we're still willing to work with you. You could be studio manager, you could be engineer, whatever, but we're not going to co-own this thing. And
Did they want
But
points or
no, they weren't. But see, they weren't bringing anything into it. See,
Yes.
our thing was
we're buying the building.
We're buying the building. We're buying the equipment that's going in the building.
You can manage it for us.
So, and because that was the thing. So what I was going to say was the accountant we had at the time was actually Byron Frank, who is, the girl that runs First Avenue.
Yes.
Her dad.
Okay.
It was her dad. He was our first accountant.
Okay.
And I know he said, well, wait a minute. If it's a partnership, you guys are buying the building. Are they bringing their equipment? And we're like, no, we're going to buy equipment. And then he said, so what are they bringing? They're not bringing anything. And so that was the thing. So anyway, so Steve Weiss is his name. So he was cool with it. He was like, well, you know what? I'll just engineer. That's fine. But his partner, I think, maybe felt left out and called. And so with solidarity to his partner, he just walked away. And we were in the middle of working on the Sherelle album. So Sherelle became literally the guinea pig.
Yeah.
Like she'd put headphones on and we go, take your headphones off while we plug in these. This is before the plug-in days.
Did you have enough knowledge on how to run it?
That's the funny thing about it. I was gonna say,
basic knowledge from live performance.
yes.
Okay.
So you know how to patch this here, get this here, And we blew up some speakers and some
Yeah,
headphones.
yeah, we definitely did.
But, you know.
Plugging in the wrong stuff.
And recorded everything too hot.
Yeah.
But
the thing about a patch bay is like you have to almost learn it hands-on. To watch an engineer do it and know where to plug that in and then plug that in and all that, it looks like spaghetti junction, right? And that was the thing. Once we figured out how to do it ourselves, we were then self-sufficient. And all the other writers and producers that we would bring in, we teach them how to do it. And we go, you guys can run your own sessions. Because we never wanted to be dependent on anybody else.
Is that how it is now?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Wow.
In a lot of ways. Because it's one thing to tell somebody what you want to get. Like particularly when we do vocals. Terry always runs his own vocals. He never has an engineer. Because you could have an engineer and you go, grab that again. Or get that one part or whatever. And it's like, no, just do it yourself. You know what it is you're trying to get.
Yeah, we learned in the destructive years. Like you were recording to tape.
Got it.
Yeah.
And so if you punched in on something, it was officially gone.
Yeah.
Sound heaven.
Yes.
But when Pro Tools came, you could make a mistake, punch in anywhere and be,
Fix it later.
Yeah, we'll pull it out later,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Alexander O'Neal. I already know the Sambo's pancake story. Best story of all time. However, listening to Innocent, I always wondered, like, okay, so what in an alternate universe, if Alex was the leader of the time, do you think that Alex would have actually, air quote, played ball at least enough to get through the first two albums? In other words, knowing Prince's taskmaster reputation and already what you've said about Alex and the whole deal at the pancake spot and him walking out or whatever, listen to Jam's 9-hour interview based on Alex talking himself out at the time. Do you think that you would have wound up, well, two questions. Do you think you would have wound up with the same results if Alex, because if you listen to Innocent, which is an homage or a nod to Get It Up,
Yes.
I was like, yeah, this, I can see it working. I don't know if it's, 'cause Morris is also a character and whatnot, and
Yeah,
there's humor
absolutely.
and all that stuff, but, I mean, I don't know is Alex easily moldable to be, in the way that Prince groomed Morris into the character that he was? Would Alex have been that moldable?
No, but Alex would be flexible. You understand? Alex is probably one of the most versatile vocalists that I know. Like if there was one male vocalist I could choose to be, Alex would be the guy.
Got it.
Because he can rock up-tempo the same way he can rock a ballad. And he could go across genres. He could do country. He can do pop. He could do new wave at that point in time. And the time was supposed to be a new wave band.
Okay. I know there was a period in 81, especially when you watch the Bus Boys and Trading Places and everyone's doing the Carlton and all that stuff. Was there really, I almost feel like the black version of New Wave. And, I've watched Ozone, Alligator Woman by Cameo and whatnot. And look, okay, After High School was like one of my favorite time songs. Like it's associated with a good memory in my life. But like, did you guys really think that like, okay, this new wave thing is really going to stick and this is, were you really prepared to,
We would have.
did new wave seem like a Noah's Ark that was going to, that you were going to hang on to?
I don't think we think of genres like that, though. I really don't. I think where we were, all that stuff was budding and spinning in our orbit all the time. I mean, the least amount of things that we would get would probably be R&B. There was always pop rock, new wave, grunge. All that stuff was coming out of 7th Avenue. What was it, 7th Avenue? 7th Street Entry.
Yeah.
First Avenue.
But was there a passion for it? Like,
For some people, yes.
did you see it as like, people saw hip hop? Like, hey, I got to do some New Jack Swing.
For us, I'd never saw any of it as like the holy grail of anything. It was just music.
Yeah.
So you like this, you don't like that.
Yeah. We liked playing that song.
Yeah.
I remember that we played it on the first tour. And we loved playing it. But yeah, I kind of agree with Terry there. I don't really think And we certainly weren't thinking in terms of, oh, this is going to revolutionize where music is, that kind of thing. We just thought it was a great album, and our whole thing was like, let's learn these songs, but let's do them better than the album. You know, and better subjective, obviously, but that was our whole goal.
So part two of that question is, because I can't imagine just Alex, you know, the way that the first time album was made with just Morris and Prince in the room together. I can't imagine Alex and Prince just being like in that sort of intimate setting. So I would almost think that he would want the band there at least bounce off of, or it's too awkward with that lead singer. Do you think that maybe perhaps you guys would have had a different presentation of the music?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Had Alex been
it would be different, better, not as good. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. It would have been different.
It would have been different. In not in a bad way, just different. You know, Morris even developed into that personality that made those songs work. And so by the time the album was gelling into an album, Morris was the personality that was being structured within those songs. Had those songs been done for Alex, Alex already had a personality.
Got it. Okay.
And so Alex was a bad boy. He had some songs that he had done with other people that were very, very new wave songs.
Oh yeah, he sure did. Yeah. Yes.
That were good.
Yeah, that's right.
And we performed some of them sometimes. So yeah, that was just part of the DNA of the day. It's like, you know, that kind of stuff is happening, and if we can play that stuff and get in and play 7th Street Entry, shit, we can get in there and get a gig.
Yeah,
we're gonna play that.
Yeah,
just like we play some polka. Or
that's just what I was gonna say. You had to be versatile.
You had to do whatever you had to do to get the gig.
Yep, that's right.
If you're in Alabama, or if you're in Houston, are they like, okay? Only because I know Prince's rockabilly Elvis thing. I've seen many a time show where you guys do Everybody Dance to the Beat, which is the most untimed sounding. Was that ever recorded on?
I think a live version.
Okay, but like, do they?
Yeah.
Again, if you know Minneapolis is open to it, maybe New York and LA are open to it. When you go to black towns or whatever.
Well, you know what was funny was...
Would the reaction be different if you do something outside of the funk genre?
I just remember the reaction that we did. We did we call it the Chitlin Circuit Tour. And it basically was 2 station wagons. And we were down south. We were North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. You know, we were doing all those dates down in that area. And I remember the first date we did, the club had a big pillar in the middle of it that was kind of on the stage, and we had our manager, road manager, was named Jamie Shoup.
I know Jamie.
You know Jamie. Jamie came in there, and she was trying to get them to take the pole away. Right. And they said, "No, that's a load bearing column. That's holding the roof up. Like, we can't get rid of that." And those were the kind of gigs we were doing. There'd be like literally, like if you were Morris Day, I'd be sitting here at the table. Terry'd be sitting here at the table. The girl would be in the front going,
well, where you are.
Right where you are. And the girl would be sitting there watching you sing, and you'd hit.
So like the 5 bars beat.
Baby. And she goes,
Don't you do that.
Don't you do that. Don't you do that. Oh, man. It was the craziest thing. But I remember when we got about 3 gigs in, we got to, one club was so messed up, they wouldn't even let us play. They didn't even let us get out the car, you know. And we still snuck to the club to see what it was like because we were just hard-headed. But in Greensboro...
So is this like the Blues Brothers?
Yeah. Greensboro, North Carolina.
Cosmos.
Okay.
Man.
That's my dad's hometown.
Okay. Yeah.
What happened?
We turned that place out.
Shoot.
They loved us. They loved our guitar solo. They loved our makeup. They loved our permed hair. They loved everything about us. And it was the first time that it felt like, oh, okay.
This could work.
This could work. This could work.
Other than Detroit.
Well, Detroit came after that because we did the Chitlin. I think we did the Chitlin Circuit tour first, right? And then
I think we did Detroit.
Oh, did
first.
we do Detroit? You're right, because we only had the single out. We only had Get It Up out.
We did
That's
Detroit
right.
first.
Yes.
And that was wonderful.
Oh, Detroit was.
And then we went everywhere else, and it wasn't so wonderful.
Yeah, it wasn't so wonderful.
So that's why I always tell
Shout
people,
out to Mojo.
you don't get
shout to
booed,
Mojo.
you can't get good. You got to get booed to get good.
Yeah.
Because you got to let you know what you don't have.
So you've had some audiences with indifference?
The best.
Indifference.
Atlanta.
Ass whooping.
Atlanta.
Oh,
It was like it might have, and we were so excited to get to Atlanta, particularly after Charlotte was so good, Greensboro was so good, and then Atlanta was like the next gig, and we were like, oh, we're gonna kill Atlanta. We're thinking, oh, we're gonna kill.
Progressive.
I swear to God, Atlanta was like cardboard cutouts.
Yeah,
Like we'd look out in the audience, and it was like everybody was just like this.
Yeah, because Atlanta has its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
But what was hitting in '81 in Atlanta?
Not us.
Only people live down there.
Not us.
Not us. You might be some Zap.
Yeah.
You standing on your head with a jock strap
Oh yeah.
or something.
Oh, I'm telling you, Roger and Zap killed. They would kill us in the South.
Oh God.
That show would kill us.
Texas.
I was going to say, okay, so I saw a recent performance of Heatwave.
Mm-hmm.
There's an entire Heatwave concert on YouTube, about an hour long. They did everything but like the cheerleading stuff from.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, at one point they did a human pyramid thing where
That's
they're
right.
like standing on each other's shoulders.
That's right.
Was there ever talks like, yo, we have to do acrobatics and
No.
No, not at all.
but y'all look so cool. One, you look conservative, and I know black people are very conservative.
Mm-hmm.
You're wearing church gear. You look cool. That didn't fly at all.
No, I think we look good.
Yeah.
Was Mars Day good with hecklers?
We didn't have hecklers.
We just did our shit, man. It's
Oh,
like,
they were just cold. Like,
We didn't have hecklers. It was more just that they just kind of
didn't-
sat there.
we don't know you.
They just they didn't get it.
That
It was
blank stare. Like,
it was that why
Wow.
is the guitar solo why is the guitar player wearing all pink with a pink guitar doing
with
loud
eyeliner on.
with eyeliner on
Got it.
doing a crazy ass solo. Like
Got it.
what is
That
this?
black people don't do that.
Yeah.
We need some funk.
Well, it's just like the way you talked about how Sly was so different from the other acts that were out.
Right.
That was the way the time was to people, particularly like in the South. Like Detroit loved us.
That's so
They
weird, 'cause
totally got it.
I literally thought the purpose of you guys was to spread the gospel of old boy in the most conservative, safe way.
No.
I
that
even
wasn't-
mentioned in that doc that Prince was last.
No, I know that.
The Time got my attention first.
No, I know
And then, of
we were
course,
your
Vanity Six.
entry point.
Yeah.
I got
and
that.
then, okay, well, let me round it off and listen to Prince, see what he's up to. And then it was
Yes.
like, oh, shit.
But
Yes.
you know why Prince
Yeah.
wanted to do the time anyway? It just became his alter ego product. It's like he had an outlet. He wanted to do R&B and new wave and all those different things.
Right.
But he was going in the rock direction, pop direction. He didn't want to be down there slumming with us, but he still had the need to do that because he loved it. And so we became that alter ego band.
I'm just shocked that even then, I'm not saying at all that you guys were safe. You guys were NWA. At least to my parents, you were NWA.
Right.
But out the Purple Army, you guys were probably the safest gateway drug.
Yeah, but we were first.
Yeah, we were first, but we were also very down to earth. Because Prince, if you think about the Controversy tour, even by that point in time, Prince was about being a rock star.
Got it.
We were just about going out and kicking some ass. We're just going to play. I remember very first gig we ever did, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I remember we got in like the day before, and we're just walking around downtown. You know, we got our coats on, got our hats on. We walking around downtown, and people are going, ain't y'all the time?
All six of y'all?
All six of us. They say, ain't y'all the time?
Okay.
And we go, yeah. And they go,
What are
y'all ain't got no bodyguards or nothing? We said, no. And y'all walking down just Pittsburgh, just downtown Pittsburgh? And we're like, yeah. And they're like, oh, shit, these motherfuckers are crazy. You know, so we already had that reputation like, oh, man, these dudes are crazy.
Yeah.
Man, I saw them walking down at the mall, man. They didn't have no security. They didn't have nothing. But we didn't think of ourselves like that. We were just like out exploring.
Yeah.
But
well,
people had that, that thought about us.
And I'm a project kid, so I'm never afraid of black folks.
Right.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? So I can go anywhere around black folks and I'm okay.
Got it. Okay.
So I don't care if I'm in Pittsburgh or Chicago or wherever. I feel comfortable in my own skin because I'm going to be aware. I know what's up. But, people are not used to artists being like that.
Right. Yeah, because they weren't asking for autographs.
No.
They were just like, y'all just out here walking around.
Y'all just out here?
Yeah.
Wow. I remember we used to have to go to wash our clothes.
Yeah, that's right.
Because, at that point we were making like less than $150. Mm-hmm. And so we were on tour with dirty clothes. We had to
wash suits?
We had to go, man, it got drawers too, man. Shit.
Okay.
So, but we had to go to the laundromat and sit we didn't have people that wash our clothes and stuff.
Right.
We had to go do that stuff ourselves.
Yeah.
That still happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in Philly once, literally happened to be at a red light, looked to my left, wandered off. I said, was that Amy? Literally Amy Winehouse doing her laundry in downtown Philadelphia. And I was like, the hell are you doing here? And she said the same thing. Yeah. Like, I don't have a staff yet. I still do my clothes. And so that still happens.
Absolutely.
That's what's real. Like,
yeah, it is.
Are you singing harmony on 777?
Yes.
Agony, I'm going through whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, that's one voice I don't know at all. And I for the longest, I didn't know who that was.
Yeah, Prince, he told me to go in and do that.
Got it. I'm going to name 7 songs. Funny How Time Flies. Mm-hmm. This is a question I forgot to ask. Some Days Tonight. Mm-hmm. The Body That Loves You. Mm-hmm. Rope Burn. Mm-hmm. Love Scene. Mm-hmm. Especially Love Scene. Mm-hmm. Would You Mind? Mm-hmm. And Warmth. Mm-hmm. Do you know what these songs have in common?
They nasty.
Which one of you... here's the thing. Like my friendship with Jan has developed deeper probably in the last 6 or 7 years. Mm-hmm. Where it's not fan worship, like, oh my God, now we're like casual and we crack jokes and all this stuff. But clearly there's a duplicitous 2 sides to the Janet thing. Mm-hmm. And for someone who's notoriously publicly, or I'll do the other P, performatively shy, how do you track vocals when she's insinuating orgasms on? And the thing is, we're watching the evolution of her sexuality for each.
Right.
I remember interviews where she was like, I didn't play Funny How Times, and that's the safest of this, what I mentioned. But each album, you push it further and further and further. So do the lights have to be completely off? Like when I'm doing vocals and I'm just doing like, whatever. Mm-hmm. Everyone's out this motherfucker. They go out the building, lights off, whatever. Even the engineer is like out of there. I got to be alone.
Yep.
How do you build that trust? One, when she's tracking vocals, especially on the slow songs.
Yeah,
she, or does she just program herself to execute it?
Well, I think there's probably a little of both, but she definitely programs herself to execute it. The lights are all off.
And by the way,
completely off. And there's no engineer in the room. There's nobody in the room. It's
only Jimmy.
Yeah, only me.
So you have to track the vocals.
Yes, unfortunately, or not unfortunately, but yes, I have to do the heavy lifting here. Yeah.
Sorry. But you also have to mix the song and rewind and mix it and mix it and mix it and add more than.
Yeah, I have to. Right, I have to. What do you call it? I have to comp the vocal. Yeah. Right. Oh, that's a good one right there.
Well, I think one time I asked, I don't know if it was, I think I asked Morris once, like, will Prince play you guys everything? And I gave an example, like, when he made Let's Pretend We're Married, like, he's like, yeah, guys, check this out. Or even Do Me Baby. Do Me Baby is probably his greatest vocal performance ever. Mm-hmm. I know there's a vulnerability and a drive to act like Prince, but then when the lights are out, you go back to normal or whatever. But it's like, does it not get awkward or?
With Janet, no. It wasn't ever awkward at all. It was actually funny. I mean, a lot of those tracks, I think you have a lot of those stems. She'll laugh at the end, or she'll, it's just kind of almost like playing a part,
But people like that scare me. People like that scare me, where it's like, I know one person like that. Literally by day, hey, how you doing, man? And Richard Pryor does this. And the next thing, motherfucker, like
You're
literally.
right. Yes.
And I just wonder about the psychology, or at least the relationship, or the trust that person. Does it ever get awkward at all?
No, not really.
I'd say no.
And I think trust is the word there. I mean, it's just, if you think about the time of the life in the evolution of it that she was going through, 40 years ago, Control, and she was making that transition. But part of her transition, I think we've talked about this, is when she was talking about going out on her own. That trip to Minneapolis was her going out on her own, where she had to drive herself around. It was her and her girlfriend, Melanie. She had to drive herself around. We gave her a Thomas guide because there was no GPS at that point in time. She had to get from the hotel to the studio. She had to drive herself. We gave her a map to Blockbuster Video. We gave her a map to the sushi place that she liked. And that was it. So all of this kind of going out on my own and being my own person and all that was all happening in Minneapolis in real time as we were writing the album. Nasty about, guys that were bothering her and stuff. And people said, I think those guys are bothering Janet. You should whatever. And we're like, we're watching it. We're cool. And then she came over afterwards and she said, you see those guys were bothering me? Did you see those guys? We said, yeah. Why didn't you come over and help me? And we said, well, you're over here now, so everything must have been okay. And she was like, oh, yeah, I guess so. It's like, learn to take care of yourself. And so that was very much what it was. But because of that, that's how the trust developed over that. And then we gave her more responsibility on Rhythm Nation. We gave her even more responsibility. She got into the fact of knowing that she's going to be writing, like she's going to be a writer now, and came in with ideas and things she wanted to do. And the trust just grows. And the next, the evolution of that was Someday Is Tonight, where, I know I said it'd be worth a wait. Well,
right.
Someday is tonight, But yeah, it was just kind of the evolution of somebody kind of growing up.
But there's no trepidation on her part. Like, guys, I don't know if I should be doing this or...
No.
Or is she the agitator?
No, she wasn't really the agitator, but I guess it was mutual agitation. Like, it just was kind of... I always liked the idea of that on the song and kind of laying yourself bare. And being honest on the record. And, listen, sex was part of the record. So...
Got it.
Yeah, but no, it never was really awkward. And we were, like I say, the lights were always out. We weren't looking at each other, one that kind of thing. So
I don't know if I ever shared this story, but right after 9/11, maybe a month later, the 2001.
Oh, no,
All for you.
All for you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It came to the Wachovia Center in Philly. And this is the first time I'm testing the waters to see, am I a niche artist or am I Questlove? Like, am I Meet My Peers or whatever? And, I had a friend that worked at Virgin because of years with D'Angelo.
Yes.
I was like, hey, can I get it? And I was like, oh, my first free tickets and stuff and backstage entry. I was like, nice. Oh, cool. And so I'm in the third row and I know what's coming. I've seen about 4 or 5 shows throughout the years, and I know, okay, there's going to be the lap dance song or whatever the song is.
Yes.
And I just happen to be right in the sweet spot in the front row. And she finishes the last 3 words of I Get Lonely. Yep. And she ends the song, all I want is suspension, you. And I looking at me, I'm like, holy shit, I'm about to get... I was with James Porzer. And we were literally freaking out. Like, it was almost like a recreation of the What's Happening gang at the Doobie Brothers show.
Yeah, right.
And I'm looking like, and I head to the stage.
Yeah.
And the security guy's like, no, him. And it was the guy behind me.
Okay.
But this is all on the Jumbotron. For all of Philadelphia to see the pie in my face moment. And yeah, to this day, man.
You were imagining you on the stage.
Yeah, like tied up in the...
I love it.
All right, I'm about
Wait, is there footage of that?
It never... You know what's weird? You remember ABC in Concert?
Yes. Yeah.
So I know this show was recorded because they showed 4 or 5 songs. You can,
okay, yeah.
Not that particular song was shown, but
yes.
somewhere in history it's there.
It's somewhere there.
And
Okay, we're gonna find that.
All right, I'm gonna do rapid random.
All right.
What other talents do you guys have that we don't know about? What's your main talent? Are you good cooks? Are you good at fishing?
I can cook because I like to eat.
When's the last time you cooked for yourself?
Probably the other day.
What did you make?
I made some sloppy joes, man. My wife was talking
Yo.
about me like a dog. I was like,
Can I tell you something? Because I have an office job, and currently dating someone that's like forcing me to really be a health nut. Look, I can't afford to do my old ways, but I get a cheat day. And actually last week I had a craving. I've not had a sloppy joe like I think at all in the 2000s. Like there's just some foods that escape the decades. And I was like, I remember sloppy joes, and I Googled on Uber Eats who makes sloppy, and sure enough, I had my first sloppy joe like last week.
Was it good?
Yes, I miss sloppy joes.
See,
Oh, that's great.
that's what I'm talking about. Because my daughter and my wife talk about me like a dog because I like sloppy joes. Make my ground turkey sloppy joes. It's very simple. It takes me about 10 minutes. And I have a pot of sloppy joes. I can eat it for the whole week. Whatever.
Well,
Are you a cook at all?
well, no, not really. But the one thing I'll say about the sloppy joe. So for my birthday every year, that's what my mom would always make sloppy joes. That was like my favorite thing.
Yes.
And I haven't probably had sloppy joes anywhere in the 2000s. But Terry Lewis, the next time you make sloppy joes, would you please bring some to the studio?
Normally
I love sloppy joes.
I'll make a turkey burger or some chili.
By the way, turkey burger. So the funny thing was back in the day, so Terry was, I called him a chickatarian, right? Because he wasn't a vegetarian, but he wouldn't eat red meat.
Right.
And I was a burger fiend. Like I love burger, right? And I remember I go to his house for a barbecue, and he's on the grill, and he hands me a burger. And I'm like, oh, cool. I bite into it. I'm like, oh, my God, Terry, this is the greatest burger. Man, this is amazing. He said, it's turkey. I said, there's no way. There's no way this is turkey. Because,
you didn't know?
Because he had the consistency. I'm telling you, I've never had a turkey. That's the best turkey burger I've ever had in my life because he had it, the consistency of it, there was no false anything to it.
Got it.
And the same thing, like his turkey chili. The one thing that Janet, every time she comes to town, the turkey chili, she goes, Terry, will you make some turkey chili? Like she wants it.
So you cook in the studio?
He's serious.
Usually at home.
Yeah, at home and bring it. Yeah.
Warm it up.
Yeah.
Okay. The studio that you guys held the longest residency in, what was always the typical go-to spot that you would... At Electric Lady, all we ate was Chinese to the point where I had to stop eating it only because it was like so routine and every day. But like, what is the... I mean, I would assume that your longest residency was Flight Time Studios in
Minneapolis?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, we never really had a food habit.
Okay.
there.
Yeah. I mean, in Minneapolis, our restaurant was Rudolph's.
Yes, we would go to Rudolph's.
Rudolph's Barbecue.
Because we'd leave and Rudolph stayed up in like till 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yes,
love-
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. That was probably the spot.
Or if we needed something quick, Perkins was right around the corner.
Perkins was right around the corner. The other, but we used to...
That stayed open 24 hours.
And right, but we also used to hit Red Lobster.
Oh, yeah.
And the funny thing is, the waitress that used to get us at Red Lobster is now Byron Allen's wife.
Wait,
Yeah.
that one?
Yes. And she used
came
to,
up. Okay.
Yeah, she came up. Yeah, she definitely came up. But she was our waitress. She was our waitress at Red Lobster when we used to go over there because there was a Red Lobster just right up the street from the Flight Time, our big Flight Time, the second Flight Time we had. Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah. So but
I got to go to Red Lobster.
I know.
Sorry,
exactly.
Yeah. And when we were on Nicollet, Art Songs.
Art Songs Wings. That's right.
Yeah.
A place called Art Songs. Yeah, that a wing place. Yeah,
When's the
we did
last
like
time you
that.
two been to... Oh, God. How do you feel about Minnesota? I totally forgot that you guys are from the hotbed of all political activity now. When's the last time you guys have been to Minnesota? Like, talk to family members?
Yeah. Well, my dad is up there still. And
Shout out to Cornbread.
Yeah,
Harris.
Cornbread's still doing his thing. I haven't been up there since kind of all that stuff went down.
Got it.
My dad's getting inducted in the Minnesota Hall of Fame, I think, for music or something.
Mhm.
I am going to go up for that. I am going to go up for his 99th birthday. in April. And so I will spend some time up there, but I haven't been up there since all that. But obviously it's heartbreaking because it's kind of like, people coming over that weren't invited,
Yes.
And Terry had, I mean, he can say it better than me, but he had a great analogy. It's like, when somebody comes over to your house uninvited and you go, okay, you're not invited. And then they walk in, but they got mud on their shoes. And now they're trekking through your house. And it's like, okay, you know what? You weren't invited, but at least if you're going to come in, at least take your shoes. Yeah, at least be respectful. And I think that's the thing that's heartbreaking about it.
Has this inspired some sort of fire in you guys to, and I know sometimes people will be like, there's a moment for an anthem, and it never works. But
I agree.
When watching it, was there something where you felt the need to?
It doesn't inspire song for me.
Got it.
It inspires anger.
Yeah.
Like, I still have a majority of my family there. I have sisters, son, nephews, nieces, grandson, and just watching how they're just disrespecting our community. And where I used to live, they tried that shit, but that didn't last.
Yeah,
long.
it didn't work.
Because so everybody got guns, so nobody cares about that shit. Like, okay, you pull it, we gonna pull it,
Right?
And they know where to go. It's like they don't come to L.A.
Right.
and go South Central.
Right,
They know East L.A. They ain't going there. They know.
Right.
Y'all can play if you want to.
This is
Y'all could be
classic
tough.
fuck around and find out moment.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
you could be tough over there, but over here.
By the way, I will say about an anthem, which I thought was very cool, because I was talking to John Landau about something that Bruce was doing for the Grammys.
Yes.
And literally the same day that he was doing the thing for the Grammys, which was a voiceover thing, the same day he was doing that, he actually recorded, or that same weekend, he actually recorded the Minneapolis song. And then I know, in talking to Tom Morello, that he was going to come up and do a show up there. And to me, musically, that was the statement that needed to be made. It didn't need to come from us. I mean, we made a statement. I mean, just a talking statement.
Yeah.
But no, we didn't feel like necessarily inspired by a song. I mean, if we do, we'll definitely do one.
Right.
But I don't think that was our thought at the time.
Yeah, I think the thought is to try to help the people who need help on the ground. Like, they need financial help. They need sustenance. They need food. They need, daycare. They need whatever. I mean, these people are invading the privacy of these people, and people are just losing out on life, and that's not right.
Yeah.
Who's the sloppy one?
As far as what?
Who's organized and who's sloppy between you two? Just in terms of Tariq will clean an entire tour bus with his toothbrush, organize everything perfectly. I'm the sloppiest, disorganized human being on earth. Can't find da-da-da-da.
I have organized messes. I have a pile of stuff, but I know it's in that pile somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think he's more organized in his computer than I would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I have more stuff in my computer than he would.
Right.
Gotcha.
But as far as clean, I mean, I grew up in Vernetta's house, and in Vernetta's house, man, shit.
She don't play that.
And man, I woke up every weekend, man. I was cleaning until like 1 or 2 o'clock.
Got it.
I'm washing the woodwork, the walls, cleaning the kitchen, shoveling, raking, whatever.
Who's the punctual one of you two?
Terry. Definitely.
Are you 5 minutes early before the meeting or an hour early before?
Just depends on what the meeting is. To be honest with you.
Choose your spots.
Okay.
I'm always 5 minutes later or 10 minutes late. I don't know why. I just am.
Since 83, have you two ever had a real argument?
We haven't had a real argument since 73 when we met. We've never had an argument.
No.
Never.
You guys never came close to fisticuffs. Me and Tariq had one fist fight.
Okay.
You've never had one.
Who won? So that's the point. Like, who won? Like, nobody wins in that. That's degrees of losing, right?
Got it.
So that's not even an option. That's not even a mature way of thinking to me.
We always think about it as the difference between an argument and a disagreement. So an argument is something you're trying to win.
Mm-hmm.
A disagreement is something you're trying to solve. So we look at, yes, we disagree on things, but we try to find whether it's my way or his way, but what's the best way? And once we figure out the best way, then there may be a discussion on the best way to get there to the best way. But an argument, if I win an argument against Terry, why would I ever want to see my partner lose at something, and particularly something that I'm responsible for? Just doesn't make sense. So the arguing thing, we've never had an argument.
Okay, so what if there's a little bit too much words in the bridge or whatever? Like,
Okay, take some out.
Yeah. I
but
mean,
what if you don't agree? Like, no, I want no.
If he feels that adamant about it, it's okay. Put that shit back in.
Right.
I don't care like
Yeah.
that. I know my value. I value his opinion. I value all. It's okay. It's okay not to be right. It's okay not to be wrong. Let's just do what's best. What's going to work. Let's achieve a result that is desirable by all.
I mean, we always go off a feeling, and the feeling is right. And when we're mixing or we're doing something, and there might be a vocal, and sometimes what will happen is because Terry tends to do, I always call him vocal master. He ends up doing a lot of the vocals. By the way, I'll mention, because we talked about Usher a little earlier. When we did "You Remind Me" with Usher, that was one where Usher had already done a vocal, and L.A. Reid said that vocal ain't good enough. And he said, but I told him he has to go back and redo the vocal. And he said, the only person I'm going to do a vocal with is Terry Lewis. And so him and Terry redid the vocal. And L.A. Reid said, it's either going to be the first single or off the album.
Got it.
And of course, it was the first single and went number one. Thank goodness for Terry Lewis. But Terry Lewis is vocal master. And it was funny because Mary J. Blige, when we did, what was the one on our album that we did? Spinning.
Yeah.
We did Spinning. And I remember Mary said, when we sent her the mix of the song, she said, I love this vocal on this song. This might be my best vocal. And Terry Lewis killed me on this vocal. He killed me on this vocal. And I said, yeah. But that's what Terry's point. Like, I don't want people to be lazy. I want them to really, give their best, example of what they do.
Got it.
So all of those things are like really important. But at the end of the day, yeah, if we feel passionate about a thing, so sometimes Terry will do a vocal. There'll be 2 or 3 vocals that are really good. And at a certain point, he'll go, Jam, listen to this and whatever. And he'll listen. And sometimes I'll go, I love this line right here, but it's clashing with this other line. Well, of course, now we have Terry can go, oh, well, you know what? I'll just move this line up a beat or up a measure or, that kind of thing. And somehow we just come to a conclusion where it all works, where it makes us both feel, really good about it.
Okay, last question. Can you give me a really good Jelly Bean Johnson story?
Well, what is this show rated?
What is a good one?
Oh, God.
How do we classify good?
First of all the time members, he actually has the funniest interviews because he just zero fucks given.
Yeah.
And I feel like people respect him for that. If he's like that in real life.
No, that's him.
That's him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, he's jumpy, grumpy. He's the grumpy, jumpy uncle. That's who Jelly Bean is.
Really?
Yeah. Shit, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Hate my rich friends.
Yeah. Right. And then things like, we'd always be cracking up, but like things like we'd go to a restaurant and order food. And there'd always be a discrepancy on the salad. He never wanted a salad. They'd always go, "Do you want a salad? What kind of dressing you want on your salad?" I don't want no motherfucking salad.
I ain't no rabbit food.
Rabbit food. I ain't eating rabbit food.
No, Jelly Bean was
Man.
one of a kind, man.
Okay, you can edit this out, but I am going to tell you this one story. Because
Okay.
we were on the road back, I don't know if it was the Chitlin Circuit days. It might have been the Controversy Tour days. And he was seeing this girl. And so we used to listen at everybody's door to see whether they were there or not, because you never could really tell.
Right.
And we heard Jelly Bean,
Yeah.
and he said, And you guys can't use this. I can't.
No, never mind.
Yeah, don't do that.
Just
to
kidding.
him,
I ain't gonna do that. To
you gotta.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah,
I can't
you gotta
do that.
let
Yeah.
him rest in peace.
Yeah, let him rest in peace. That is true. Because he'll come back. He'll come back. Oh,
He gonna
motherfucker.
get
and
hard.
haunt you.
Motherfucker.
Tell
Jimmy
people that
Jam.
shit.
Motherfucker.
Man, motherfucker, I heard you.
I heard you. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I ain't gonna say it. But anyway, but yeah, Bean was great. And like I say, he's the one that was responsible for me being a keyboard player. Because when I met Terry and we were gonna put a band together, and I was playing drums for my dad.
Right.
I was his drummer. And Terry said, let's put a band together. I said, cool, I'll get my drum set. Terry said, I don't need a drummer. And I was like, oh. And it was Jelly Bean Johnson. He had it as a drummer. And he said, you should be a keyboard player. Your dad plays keyboards. You should be a keyboard player. I said, okay.
That's good logic, right?
That's right. So
Wow.
that's why I'm a keyboard player to this day, because of Jelly Bean Johnson.
Well, I think I've said everything I need to say about you guys. You're absolute heroes, and I appreciate you guys taking the time out to talk with us, and I cannot wait. How long is the residency going for?
It's just a limited residency. It's 6 nights we're going to do between April 17th and April 26th. So we'll have a couple of days off in between. But yeah, it's just going to be 6 days, and it's an intimate space. It's a small space.
Beautiful space.
It's gorgeous. I mean, it's
Elegant, boy.
totally elegant.
Pinky finger. It's
Yes.
like,
Okay.
Yeah, you got to drink with the
You have
with
to
your
stick
finger.
your pinky
I
out.
wear
Yeah,
my good Crocs, my
There
Stacey
you
Adam
go.
Crocs.
Yeah,
There you go. You got it.
your crocodile Crocs.
But no, it's going to be a lot of fun. And Questlove, can I just say,
Yes.
first of all, I'll just start by saying how proud we are of you.
Thank you.
Just when you talk about people that really elevate music and elevate culture, you're one of the people that does it in such a cool way. But I think I tried to articulate this to you before, and I'm probably not going to quite say it right. But because of your curiosity and your willingness to ask questions, people assume you know everything, and you know a lot. But the reason you know a lot is because you ask the questions. You have
I'm a student.
the want to know. Yes.
Thank you.
But for someone to be as elevated as you are as far as your knowledge, I hear you have conversations with people and you never make people feel like they're less smart than you. And there's a
Tell that to the Roots.
but I mean, I just think that there's something so special about that people feel very comfortable.
Thank you.
In as watching you learn and going, oh wait, he didn't know that. That kind of what happened earlier. There was something we talked about. And you didn't know that, but it's not like it feels right. It feels like but now that makes you curious, and now I'm going to find out about that, and that's the way we all are. So thank you for that, and thank you for having me back on again.
All the gratitude. You're a 3-timer.
I know,
And we got him.
We got Terry Lewis, and
Thank you.
And thank you for allowing people to see the brilliance that I get to see every day with Terry Lewis. I mean, Terry Lewis is the most amazing human being I know.
Yeah.
And I can't articulate it enough, but when you see us together and you hear his thoughts and his way of going about doing things, you realize why I'm the lucky one here to have him in my life.
We both lucky, Jimmy Jam.
Yes. Thank you.
But I did come up with a Jelly Bean story.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We like this.
Encore, hit
we
me.
like this.
Well, you're going to really like this because it mimics you, man.
Okay.
He lived and breathed music. He loved music more than he loved himself.
Yep.
And, I mean, there wasn't a truer musician, just savant, actually, in knowing artists and knowing music. Jelly Bean loved music, man. That's one thing I could say about Jelly Bean. Give or take some of the rest of the shit, but man, my brother, he was true to the game, man, for sure.
That's all we need.
Yeah, and he got me into the game because music wasn't my thing. I wanted to be a doctor, medical doctor. And
Wow, I didn't know that.
yeah, but I was an athlete, was all city football, state track champion, played basketball, anything with a ball, brother was all right.
Okay.
They say Prince could play, I whoop Prince ass. Any sport, whatever. But that doesn't matter. What matters was that these guys were all my friends, man, and we hooped, We played music together, man. They taught me how to love music. And I really thank him for that.
That's beautiful. Well, Terry Lewis, Jimmy Jam, reversing it. This one time only. Thank you very much. We definitely got our money's worth in Questlove Showers. You got it. And we will see you on the next go-round. Questlove Show, thank you. The Questlove Show is hosted by me, Amir Questlove Thompson. The executive producers are Sean G., Brian Calhoun, and me. Produced by Brittany Benjamin and Jake Payne. Produced for iHeart by Noel Brown. Edited by Alex Conroy. iHeart Video support by Mark Canton. Logos, graphics, and animation by Nick Paloe. Additional support by Lance Coleman. Special thanks to Kathy Wrong. Special thanks to Sugar Steve Mandel. Please subscribe, rate, review, and share the Questlove Show wherever you stream your podcast. Make sure you follow us on socials. That's at QLS. Check out hundreds and hundreds of QLS episodes, including the Questlove Supreme shows in our podcast archives. Questlove Show is a production of iHeartRadio.